Welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope. And wow, this is something else. So, Scott Mendelson, as some of you may know, is not a fan of the DCU, and with many of his posts, he puts in a lot of negative stuff, so we don't kind of listen to him. And the reason why he's mad is because, well, he's not mad per se, he's moaning anyway that Batgirl may have the chance of being directed by a male director, as though that is a bad thing. But maybe what makes it worse for him is that it could be Joss Whedon may direct him, and you may have a Marvel director, so he's came out and moaned about that. And I'm starting to hate all this stuff about excuse me, I'm hating all this stuff about womanhood just now, right? I'm not a sexist, but it's getting flung at us right now. We had the Ghostbusters that had a whole women group. Not against that. I was only against the fact that it totally demolished the original Ghostbusters. They weren't, it didn't carry on the storyline and how maybe the original Ghostbusters trained the women and stuff. That's more like a sort of issue with that, and it sort of debunked fan favourites and everything is now becoming, now you've got the Doctor Who. The Doctor Who is now, they're talking about making that into a woman after so many years of being a man. For me, a woman needs to be there if it calls for it. But why change something? Don't tell me we're going to have a female James Bond next. Okay, I just think the world's gone topsy-turvy. And I've got a friend, good friend, she's transgender, and she's been pining for a film for her. Now there's talks about Batgirl being a transgender, which is good, right? No problem with that. But where would you go with a director on that? Would you go for a male or would you go with a female? It shouldn't matter who the director is or what sex he is. Comics, for a very long time, has been male orientated. Most of your readers of the past have been males, so they know the characters well. Joss Whedon probably knows the characters well. But you've also got strong women producers like Deborah Snyder. You've got I'm sure there's a lot of women producers who is really the backbone of most of the action films out there. And those are the ones responsible for getting the feeling, for choosing the right actors and so forget about having a woman director. It's the producer is just as important, and if you check all your fact files, you'll find out that there's a lot of women producers in the backbone of male directors. Now, Patty Jenkins, when she comes out with this Wonder Woman movie, okay, I predict it's going to do well, right? Now, here's another thing. So far, we've got a web page that's out just now predicting that it's not going to do well, Wonder Woman. It's going to be the lowest of the low, right? How can you predict that, right? Here we have Wonder Woman, first superhero in a big blockbuster movie. That was the biggest, her appearance in Batman v Superman was the most talked about thing going. Now, what I want to do in this Rotten Tomato score, because I heard words that it's getting worse score or something like that, I don't know, it's still carrying on, is put the Ultimate Edition on to the subject matter, okay? Put that on, because that's getting great reviews. Take down Batman v Superman, replace it by the Ultimate. Now, I know a lot of people who are fans of Batman v Superman, the cinema cut, might disagree with me there, but listen, I'm all for the best. I'm all for the positive stuff out there, and as I say, it's just Joss Whedon. Patty Jenkins does a good job on Wonder Woman. Who's to say she won't go ahead and do Wonder Woman 2? Who's to say she won't try a hand at Batwoman, Catwoman, whatever film. She might even put a hand to a Batman movie. She might put a hand. Gender is not the issue, right? When did we start becoming a society when they're making a film about a woman and it needs to be directed by a woman? Okay? Brad Pitt's and Angelina Jolie, she's a great director. And I'm sure she can turn her hand to direct a film with a male lead. And Clint Eastwood's made a number, and I'm sure Clint Eastwood has done a film with a woman lead. There's that film called Misty, where the woman is the villain, and she's basically the real star of the film. And this was going back maybe in the 70s, okay? And she was a scary woman, directed by a guy, okay? But this is Scott Mendelson complaining because maybe he's a Marvel director, okay? Directors have a hard time with Marvel movies just now, okay, and the way Marvel films are set up, okay. Joss Whedon, I'm not, and you may have seen my other videos, he's not an ideal director. He's not, he doesn't make hit after hit. And Age of Ultron, as you say, I've just watched it, and I've done a video on that before, and it's not one of his good ones, and I'm sure he wasn't happy with it either. I had some Marvel fans complaining because I fell asleep during that, but that's just me. There were too many jokes, there were too many teenage angst in it. But when I go and see a film, I don't think about what gender is the person that's directing it. All I want is people that know the stuff, that know the source material, that can do it justice. Now, Patty Jenkins came off of doing a film, Captain America. So you trying to say because she's a woman there, she shouldn't handle it? She then moved to DCU, doing Wonder Woman, that has similar themes going through it with Captain America. Now, also, she's read and she's commented about George Perez, who's then came out with, who helped give the Wonder Woman stories in the comics. So she knows the source material. She's reading up on it, okay, and she might put a pitch into it, and it all depends if it follows DC's vision. Now, some people might have problem with Zack and Deborah Snyder, but they're making films that are making money. They've got a vision. They've given us a trilogy: Man of Steel, BVS, the Justice League. They've introduced Steppenwolves, parademons, time travel, everything else. Okay, it's not something you can get everywhere. I'm sorry if this camera's shaking. Late at night, my arms are shaking, I'm holding this phone up. So, what else? But not to predict that a film is going to do bad. I can't see it happening. Okay, the trailers have done it justice. They've managed to keep things out of the way. It might be up, I can't remember what other films are out in the same month, but I'm dragging everyone to it, and I advise you to do the same. Grab all your friends, it's going to be a joyful ride. My brother-in-law is going to bring her his daughter to it, and he doesn't normally go out and see these films. He waits for DVD. He's going to take her to see Wonder Woman. And it's going to be these films where a lot of the girls are wanting to go and see. Now here we have another thing. Now we have comicbook.com, I'm sure it is. They've just put on a post saying the star of Captain Shazam, which I've got a problem with, okay, because they just stole my Captain Shazam's name. And it's not Captain Shazam, sorry, Captain Marvel's name, okay. So Captain Marvel, played by a woman, and the actress has said it's going to be all fun and cheerful, because that's what Marvel does best, or the fact that's the character. She's a wee bit like Power Girl, okay. But what does Wonder Woman stand for? Truth, justice, honour, love, peace and everything else. Something a wee bit substantial, something a wee bit heavy, something a wee bit sending a powerful, heroic sort of message to the world. And Captain Marvel's bringing you humour. And a woman, and so is it going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy? Marvel's first superhero movie is going to be fun and stupid and a wee bit like Ghostbusters. Wonder Woman's been taken serious. Okay, it's also the lead up to Justice League. Beyond the trailer has just said that she's came out and commented about Boss Baby is predicted to do well. It didn't. It fell short from what they're predicting. And for me, I think it's early days. The tickets aren't on sale yet. You know, you can't predict if a film's going to do good. You know, get the trailers. And as I say, I'm surprised we don't see many trailers on TV. TV is the biggest source of where you would see a trailer, right? Not everyone just goes on YouTube and starts and looking for the trailers. People spend most of their 11 days in front of a TV watching soaps, watching any sort of film. Put it on STV or your Sky One or whatever. People will see the trailers and get hyped. And as we go in through the weeks, it will go. I'm already buying it. Tickets to see twice. At least see a DC movie about 3 times. Okay. So no, it's just a lot of rubbish, and it's a lot of rubbish. You know, there's that slogan, Marvel tards and DC. I hate using Marvel tards, and when I use that word, I'm not looking at you, the normal Marvel fan. I wouldn't call my mate that we argue all the time a Marvel tard, because he does have an open mind about certain things and DC, but there are those who just want to put them down and everything else, and make biased things like comic book com, and you know, I just feel Facebook is just a worse place to be a comic book fan, because you're faced with all these sites that are just either hounding DC or they're hounding the latest comic book movie. But I want you to take a note. If you're on Facebook, I want you to take a note on sites and how many positive stuff they do for each genre, DC and Marvel. Then if you come up with an idea, what one's doing the best one, you know, what like, if you see more bad reviews on DC or bad posts about DC, then you know that's a biased page. Okay, to get clickbait, your article has to be sort of balanced. Your headline has got to be balanced. Okay, we're a couple of months away from Wonder Woman. I project it'll still do very well. It's a lead up to DC. My opinion is stay away from Scott Mendelson. And just start looking forward to Wonder Woman, and let's care less about what director is doing it. Remember, let's be a wee bit. Let's take the old phrase: the strength of a man comes from the woman behind, or whatever. You know, the strength of the man comes from the woman. Okay, Zack Snyder wouldn't have done some of the great films he's done if he didn't have Deborah Snyder at his back, bringing the cast together, bringing the directional and the feeling, everything else, and getting these films done. And I wish I could put on some links to some great women producers, but it's easy to find out for yourself. So yeah, stay positive out there. Let's forget about what makeup you are, what sex you are. You know, I just feel like we're living in a world where now it's not that the worm have turned and women are taking over. I think it's just playing the women card too many times. You know, and I'm going to sound sexist, and I'm not sexist. Okay, I would, and yes, I feel sorry for those minorities out there that feel like their sexual thing isn't being discussed in movies, but maybe it's just the storyline. You know, we had a great one called was it him out of Sherlock, and he played a game, and it was a bit of true story about the Enigma machine. You can comment below what film that was, but it was Cumberbatch that was in it, and he was playing the guy that cracked the Enigma machine, and he got, and because he was gay at that time, they basically took his life. The government just basically took all that honour away from him just because he was gay. Now that is a story that speaks for the gay community, and it made a great story. It made a great film. Was it directed by a gay person? Did it need to be directed at a gay person? So I hope you know where I'm coming from. Okay, if the story calls for some sort of gender or whatnot, fine, but don't just put it in it because we're trying to be PC. Okay, don't need a woman director to direct Batgirl or anything else, because I'm sure there's a lot of male directors like me who can read Wonder Woman book, can watch a Wonder Woman cartoon film, and treat women just as justly and fairly as any woman director could do given the chance. So I hope you understand this. This is Man of Steel Fan Gives Hope. Looking forward to your comments and subscriptions and whatever down below. Thank you very much. Oh, and one guy's wrote in and he said something about did I notice that the same people, the clothes and the articles that were getting worn in Krypton and Man of Steel, the garments that the people were wearing on the council were quite similar to those in, was it Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that? And listen, you're going to notice some similarities. If I got the film wrong, I'm sorry, buddy. But it's not something that I go out and look for. I think Man of Steel, the look and the feel of Krypton has got its own sort of flavour. We can also state something like the Suicide Squad movie, the video front cover, the mushroom cloud thing with the faces. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is setting up a same sort of video cover for their film, and you could say Marvel was copying DC in style and fashion and everything else, and you know, and to put something like that down, well, if they're taking some things from, and I said so many times before, DC gets critically bashed about one subject, and on the same subject that Marvel does, they don't. Again, biased thing, you know, but just feel privileged that somebody's watched some sort of DC thing and took the idea and copied it from them. You know, you'll get people saying some people copied Wonder Woman as a copy of Captain America. No, listen, all characters are copies of each of them. You know, and you could debate it all you want. Who came first? What character came first? Well, Wonder Woman came before Captain America, so maybe the ideas washed off in Captain America. And Wonder Woman is going back to World War I, and Captain America is World War II. So it's, but again, this is an origin story. That was Wonder Woman's origin story, same as Captain America. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and tell it is accurate. You know, you couldn't. For me, I don't think any origin movie of Wonder Woman film can be made without her going to the old war and meeting Steve Trevor. So for me, it's not a copy. Okay. And for those people that have commented about how bad BVS was compared to Age of Ultron, listen, that is just your view. I'm just telling you mine. This is a DC Facebook page. You can put all your bad comments on before. I'm not dissing your Marvel films. Okay, somehow it's doing well in the world, and that's majority of children's films preferences. It just ain't mine. I'm looking for something a wee bit darker, meaningful, and everything else, not just slap bang, action, laugh. It's just not for me. It's popcorn. I dozed off. I'm looking for something that can capture me. So if you are a Marvel tard, you're wasting your time commenting. You're wasting your time subscribing. This is, as I say, a DC page. I'm never going to agree with you. There are too many Marvel web pages out there and too many Marvel YouTube biased pages out there, you're best off following them, because they can blow your trumpet with you. Okay, thanks for watching. Stay positive out there.